It's good to have on hand when the new members come in, we hand them the directory, and that's information that
We're probably going to update it every, what, 2 years?
We've had it since 2017.
17
Yeah.
was the last time.
5 years. What we
I
did
would
is,
suggest every 2 years.
what I did is I had a new list of the current homeowners and just sent out an insert. Here's your directory, here's an insert.
Right, because it's expensive.
So where are we on the drainage
Okay.
now?
But I think we need to have it.
Well,
How about the drainage?
okay, let's do it this way.
So where are we on the drainage canal?
What do you want me to explain the whole thing?
Well, I really hate to get into that.
$280.
Okay.
I can make
Okay,
it
let's
short and sweet.
do it this
The
way.
reason this
The
came up.
drainage canals, we're currently still
We got
paying
a check
for
that was the basis of an agreement.
Maintenance.
maintenance.
Yes.
$280 a month.
Yes.
Half now,
We
half
got,
sells his property.
The reason this came up is because you handed me that check.
Yes.
All right. We got a check which was
Elaborate
the
on
basis
why
of
Grillo
an
was
agreement
paid.
with Grillo that
Al's his,
No,
was half now, half when
Canals are,
he sells his
easement.
property.
okay?
Now,
Long story, very long story.
Go ahead.
Canal, all the.
elaborate on why
waterways
Grillo would
in the
pay
Southern
us.
Lakes
I
used to
mean,
be
are the
taken
canals
by the
his?
National Association.
No. The canals are an easement.
Cut costs, even though
Okay.
it's in the documents.
Long story,
saying that the
very long
master
story.
is
Go ahead.
Canal, all the easement waterways in Lucerne Lakes used to be taken care of by the Master
Canceled it and
Association.
said each of the local.
We had a master president that wanted to cut costs, even though it's in the documents, saying that the master is responsible for maintaining all the canals and waterways in the
Didn't
community.
happen for a while.
He canceled it and said each of the local HOAs must maintain their own.
Us, documentation.
We
all that,
did,
and it wasn't getting done.
HOA South did for a long
I guess we
time.
gave in just as long as we
It
could.
didn't happen for a while. I mean, there was
Right, they want-
fighting going back and forth between the master and us, documentations, all that, and it wasn't getting done. Finally, I guess we gave in, this is long before me, and they started maintaining it.
And
By
And
they,
then-
you mean the
as the
golf
board
course?
decided.
No.
Really,
Oh, we did.
HOA,
Oh.
we started paying for the
Okay,
maintenance
you
of
said
it.
they, so I was.
Then we had, again, it became a budget issue, and we, as the board, decided really the golf course should be maintaining it because it's either them or the homeowners who have the property, their property lines are on the canal, not us, not the HOA. It's the golf course and the homeowners, they each have part of it. But it's an easement. It's a water easement. Then we decided again as an HOA, because of the complaints, that we would start it up again, maintaining it. With the idea that we didn't want to have the complaints and we didn't want people getting sick and all that other stuff because of what was in there. So we started doing it. I had a discussion with the golf course and I said, okay, this is going to be sold. Will you, we did this for your benefit. Would you benefit us back? And they agreed. He said, he will, Nick said he would pay us the cost from when we restarted the contract, which is June of 2020, till the project is, the property is sold. And he guessed, we put a cost sheet together, we did half of it, and there again, when that's sold is up in the air yet, but he will cover whatever isn't covered till the end, with the idea that until something is done with the canals, Mattamy will maintain the
you
contract.
say it started June 2020.
So,
but
was
we've
this
been
discussed at a
paying,
board meeting? Did we decide, the board
we-
decided?
No, they didn't know anything about this check.
Okay.
They didn't know anything about that.
And you say it started
We
June
didn't know, I'm just
2020,
talking about from June 2020 till.
but we've been
How long
paying
was the period that we weren't paying for?
from
Southern Weed Control since December 2009?
June, wait, where was it?
No, there's a period that we.
We didn't know. I'm just talking about from June 2020 until
28,
current.
sometime in
How long was
28.
the period that we weren't paying for?
2018.
From 2018, June, wait, where was it? I did not have it here. I think it was 2018. Sometime in 2018.
So 18
December
until when?
2009,
So
about
June
when
of
the master
2020.
stopped doing it.
That's 2 years.
We did not, and
So
then
that's when our first.
we were getting complaints from the homeowners along it, and the board decided to take it out.
So is December 2009 about when the master stopped doing it,
Approximate.
do you think? So that's when our first agreement with Southern Weed Control started.
I have the date, but I don't know what
I
that
don't-
date
I don't-
is.
it doesn't
It's
really
I
bad.
forget who was
That's,
fighting.
Doesn't
who
matter
was
who was
fighting
dealing with it. It's just the fact that
Gene
we
was
isn't paying.
on this board.
2009
Gene and your husband.
My husband was never on the
Except
board.
for-
Oh, no.
Well, I don't, it doesn't really
I
matter.
forget who was
It
fighting,
doesn't
who was
matter
fighting
who's
with the
dealing with
master.
it, it's just the fact that we have been paying from 2009
Paid a total of
until
$35,000 to date.
now, except for a period of
And
about 2 years, which you're telling me that we
Don't
weren't
think-
paying for it.
I would.
And the reason we were paying for it was for the homeowners.
Okay, so we've paid a total of $35,000 to date.
And if you double it,
And-
5%.
He doesn't have to pay us
I
anything.
don't think
No, he doesn't have to at this point.
I would agree to a
However,
check for
it is
3580,
responsibility.
10%
Whether
of
it's
that.
half his
No, it
responsibility.
Or
isn't.
so.
No, it is. It's the master. It isn't.
And if you double it,
It's the
5%.
master.
He doesn't have
So
to
why
pay
is
us
he
anything.
agreeing to pay us?
No, he doesn't have to at this
Out of the
point.
goodness of his heart.
However, it is part of his responsibility.
Well,
Whether it's half his
No, it
responsibility.
isn't. No, it isn't. It's the master. It's the master.
So why is he agreeing to pay us?
He will cancel his agreement.
Out of the goodness of his heart.
I make
Wonderful.
motion.
So, how do I return this check?
Take it over to him.
Okay.
He will cancel his agreement.
I make a motion that we do not accept the payment of $35.80 from Grillo to satisfy any dispute we have with the golf course on the drainage canal maintenance.
If the master was doing it,
Hello?
Oh, second.
Any discussion?
I'm just a little confused. Coming into play now. Why isn't the master
If
taking care of that?
the master
I'm
was
a-
doing it
I'm a little mixed up as to who the players are.
before the golf
I was
course,
gonna say the same thing.
how
It
is the
seems
golf
to me we
course
should throw it back at the master, because if they're.
coming
in charge
into
of
play
those,
now?
then
Why isn't the master taking care of that part? I'm a little mixed up as to who the players are here.
I was gonna say the same thing. That seems to me we should throw it back at the master, because if they're in charge of those, then they should be paying for it.
They had a lawyer look into it, and that's when the president of that time, and I can't tell you who it was, because it was long
He might be the one that talked with.
stopped payment on it. And he stopped a lot of things that were in the master agreement.
No, he was never the master.
Regardless of.
No, not the master.
He was here.
He might be the one that talked with the master, and, you know, I have documentation way back. I have
2009, it was
to find
probably
it.
Stuart Norton.
Well, regardless of that, who's responsible, who's not responsible, I don't think it's in our interest to accept this as a
In the
settlement.
interest of the HOA.
And that's the motion I made. And I think in the future, not
Take the vote.
actually, I shouldn't talk about it during this
No, no.
motion, but we need
The
to
vote
pursue
to
this
Accept this check as a settlement.
for the interest of the HOA.
Waterway. Those in favor?
So I'll take the vote.
Are you're amending your,
No, I'm not amending nothing.
okay.
Taking a vote that we don't accept this check as a settlement of the existing waterway
Do
issue.
you want to accept this check?
Those in favor? Aye.
Get
Against?
that?
So,
Motion failed. We accept the
We
check.
made a mistake.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Do you want to accept this check? Is that what you're saying? Everybody got that? The
so,
motion fails. We accept the check from Grill.
Okay.
Can I just, I'm really confused about this. I'm really
It
confused.
doesn't end the issue.
Oh, okay,
It doesn't end the issue. That's no business.
We just,
okay, okay.
the board has been
New business.
Yeah.
I have two people.
Okay, new business. We've got a board that's been short 2 people for at least a year, maybe longer. I want to fill the board up. I'd like to fill the board up. I have 2 people interested in being on the board. The first, I'm going to make a motion to accept their interest and become a director.
Make a motion the board appoint Janet
Finally,
Amo
no.
to the deputy director position formerly held by Caesar of Roncoso and others.
Make a motion the board appoint Janet Aho to be one of the empty deputy director positions formerly held by Caesar of Roncoso and others.
But if these people are interested in getting on the board, why didn't they?
I make that motion.
Second.
Vote for the whole community?
Discussion.
I understand we have 2 open positions, but if these people are interested in getting on the board, why didn't they apply when we had the vote for the whole community to vote on people from this board? Now we have people who are just going to get appointed by this board,
When they
not
had
the
that
community.
opportunity,
I'm-
just like you
I'm
did.
They'll be
not-
voted on the next time.
Yeah, but you're getting voted on for a whole year by 7 people instead of 236 households. When they had that opportunity, just like you did, to be a member of this. Now they're coming in when they don't have to worry about the 236, they have to worry about the 7. I don't think it's, hold it, can I discuss this, please?
You accepted me under the same.
I don't think it's the right time to be doing that. They had the chance, they didn't do it. I think we should hold off. That's my opinion.
Okay.
But, you accepted me under the same circumstances. Now, I did not put my name in the fall.
You were nominated.
I had too many things going on with my husband at the time. But when things started settling down, I did put my name back in and you did accept me. So I don't think, I mean, the precedent has been set, so I don't.
No, you were nominated.
You were
Multiple
nominated.
You were not, you.
I wasn't nominated, oh, I was?
Yes, you
Yes,
were.
you were.
Okay.
You also have your name in many times
That's true.
with your intent to run on the board. And then you were nominated to come onto the board.
That would be
Okay.
by
You weren't,
Quite
you
I'm
weren't,
not exactly sure what.
I was not elected by the community.
you were not,
That's
How many
a,
years ago?
well,
because that's,
Okay,
that's how it's,
the bylaws state that it'll be by community election in the annual meeting. I
right.
was not elected by the community
I
for
went through
how many
the
years it's been
process
since you got
of
the
putting my
forum
application,
community
handing
at
it
an
to the
annual
board
meeting
member.
to have a vote.
Because there are only.
Every member
These
has been
people
appointed by
did
the
their
board.
application, handled it to the board.
You would get appointed.
You
You went through the,
You
I went through the process of putting my application, handing it to the board members.
Right, and because there were only
These
three
people did their application, handed it to the board
This
members.
is how.
No, you went to,
you put your application into the community.
Right, and the board appointed.
no,
No, you moved on because there were 3 seats open and only 3 people running.
And that's
This is how you got on.
and
That's
so,
by CC.
And so
Okay.
there are
And so when they,
2 people,
yeah, please hold it down.
Three options.
Otherwise, you don't want to fill the board and spend 2 years.
The obligation and bylaws is to maintain 9 people on the board.
The options were for 7, 9, 5, 7, 9.
Nobody stepped up.
3
In fact,
options.
you got another
So
phone
why
call
is it you
today,
don't want
and I
to fill
had
the
to
board
vote
and spend 2 years?
When they were supposed to submit
because we've been putting in the newsletter for months that we were looking for more volunteers.
right, and
Now you got 'em.
nobody stepped up.
No,
In
but
fact,
we
I got
didn't
another
get
phone
them.
call today, and I have 2 other people that would be interested.
Yeah, but when they were supposed to submit their application and get voted on by the community, they didn't. That was just last month, it was a month ago. And they knew we needed them because we've been asking.
We didn't know that there were these spaces.
Come to the board meetings. I mean, it's been announced at board meetings. I mean, nothing's been quiet about it. Now, all of a sudden, we just had an election by the community, and all of a sudden now we can people who want to get
I'm not
appointed.
gonna take minutes, I'm gonna take questions.
I'm not happy with
Not a
that.
back.
That's my feeling.
This board has to figure out how to. Not on the other need it. I don't want it.
I'm not gonna take,
I
I'm
wanna
not gonna
know
take questions
why this board,
because this is not a back and
you can't
forth.
tell me that if
This
somebody
board
doesn't
has to
apply
figure out how to
September,
work together.
then the whole next year.
I have information
I
regarding
don't
this.
need
bylaws
information.
state
I don't want
differently.
information. I wanna know why this board is not full. And you can't tell me that if somebody doesn't apply in November, then the whole next year we can't appoint somebody. The bylaws state differently.
We could appoint somebody like in a couple months or something.
Why do we have to wait a couple?
There's no appointment, it has to be, it's not appointed.
Stay on forever.
I know that, please.
You can appoint. It's been done. It was done for the last 2 years. Ed has sat out there and said,
I know
will
that.
people come
I know
forward?
that, please.
Okay.
We can't appoint. We gotta vote.
So I have a motion on the table, it's been seconded. The question is,
I know this is over now, but I don't understand why the board is
those
objecting
in favor,
to having additional people who need the treasurer.
those opposed?
Secretary, now we'll go with
I guess, I know this is over now, but I don't understand why the board is objecting to having additional people. Who? We need a treasurer, we need a secretary, and now we
Well, we
go.
can have but they don't
want them.
We can do that with who we have.
Okay,
Same discussion.
make a motion to appoint Dave Aldrich
They have called. Same discussion.
to an empty director position, formerly Ed McClung.
Take the vote. All in favor?
Qualifications?
Same discussion,
Opposed?
they have the qualifications. Same discussion, I assume. Let's take the vote. Those in favor? Those opposed? Okay.
Okay. Article 720 of the Florida statute requires us to preserve, protect coverage every 30 years.
Okay,
Has this ever been done?
Article 720 of the Florida statute of the homeowner association requires us to preserve and protect coverage every 30 years. Has this ever been done?
We just did it a year ago.
You already did it a year ago.
I have it, I'll get
Okay,
it.
so I can scratch that.
Our recommendation was by our accountant every year that we miss.
Okay, gotta vote on it.
It's easy, you just have
Well, it
to.
has to be filed.
I thought it was only done every 30 years.
I just said yes, but our
You can
accountant
do it.
I
recommended.
understand that, but then why pay an accountant to do it?
We don't have to pay the
You're not gonna pay
accountant, we just have to vote.
Okay. Gotta vote on it.
Okay.
Well, it has to be filed in
Tree trim.
5,
county, right?
yes.
Those are the stuff that have to be done for another 30 years.
$10.
It was brought up to Frank that,
Okay, the tennis court tree trimming.
are hanging over.
Michelle,
Along with, I believe,
You wanna-
it's one or two
comment on that?
and the branches.
It was brought up to Frank that
Are coming
the
into season.
sable
Our
pines
storms
are hanging over the top of the tennis courts along with, I believe,
as well
one or two
as
pine
they're
trees.
dropping
And
those
the
pine
branches
trees onto stuff.
are coming into season with our thunderstorms and our wind, that they would come down and damage the tennis court, as well as they're dropping, of course, the pine tree, the needles onto the pine court stuff, onto the court. You all have the proposal. He gave us the proposal, and he said if there's a couple of other trees, whatever, that we deem after he cuts these down, he'd be more than willing, once he has the truck out here, to take care of it.
And these are the ones on the west side.
Yes.
Next to the
That's the east.
That's within the
The
budget.
left, talking about the tennis courts are over there.
Yeah.
That's, yeah,
West.
Can we cover it
the
with
west. Oh, this side.
Oh, I thought they were on the other side, we're talking about next to
No,
the.
no, no, no,
That's
no,
fine.
no, no.
Is this within the budget that he gave us for the year? I mean, can we cover it with the?
I don't see why not. We haven't put any mulch down anywhere or done anything like that.
Yeah, but even if we do that, doesn't he have extra in there?
Yes.
So is,
I make,
I don't think we have to make a motion on it. I think it would be maintenance.
I want a motion.
I'll make the motion to accept Ambassador
Any further discussion?
on the tree trim, pine cones hanging over, pine trees hanging over the tennis courts.
I'll second.
I'll get it straight, yeah.
Any further discussion? Okay. I'll ask the question.
Yeah.
Those in favor?
Okay.
Those opposed?
Termination of Wayne Cortez and Cortez. I know this is
You want
going to.
this done as soon as possible? Possible?
Discuss Larry Cortez January 23rd. What about as much?
Okay. The termination of Wayne Cortez and
I
Cortez.
want an update on what.
I know this is going to go like a what I'll state. I discussed with Larry Cortez on January 21st. I got about as much cooperation as I did with some several board members. I want an update on what the pending actions were, as well as his advice on giving, that he's given to the board in the last 6 months. I then sent a new item to the drainage canal, which was this
Despite numerous phone
thing that
calls,
Ed gave me,
2
as to
emails.
how I should respond to that.
I do not feel comfortable working with someone who takes 3 weeks.
As I was posting the agenda on February 11th, I finally got a
Attorneys in my
response,
past.
despite numerous phone calls.
And one thing attorney should
And
be
2
able to do, at
emails.
least give you an indication, it's not a full report.
I do not feel comfortable working with someone who takes 3 weeks to respond to
We
an
have
issue.
the option of giving Larry.
I worked with many attorneys in my past,
Termination.
and one thing an attorney should be able to do is at least give you an indication, it's not a full report on a question you have.
Someone's going to be working with the attorney. Continuing business.
We have the option of giving Larry a 30-day notice of termination.
Terminate.
He can finalize on what he's working for us,
Cortez.
but I do not feel comfortable since I'm the one that's going to be working with the attorney, continuing business with Larry Cortez. So I make a motion to
I
terminate
think if we're having
Wyatt
issues,
Cortez and
we operate
Cortez
as a business.
as the HOA
Any
attorney.
business that has
Discussion.
issues with a
Is there a second?
contractor,
I'll second.
a law firm, they should meet.
Discussion.
I
would
think
suggest
if we're having
that the board
issues,
member meet with
I
him,
think we operate as a
lay out what
business,
your
and any good
expectations are,
business that has
go through it,
issues
see
with
what
a
his
vendor, a
response is.
contractor, a law firm,
he's doing,
they should
he's doing,
meet.
he has a lot.
I would suggest
he
that
has a
you
lot
and another board member meet with him,
with,
lay out what your
working on
expectations
homeowners
are,
that not
and go through it and see what his response
working
is.
on that.
He has a lot in his, he has a lot
CCRs
that he deals
we have a lot of stuff that is
working on
pending.
homeowners that are not the right age that have been purchased. He's still working on that. He's working on a lot of the foreclosures. He's working on the CCRs that are all. We have a lot of stuff that is pending, and to start with a new attorney is gonna cost us double the amount of money. And I think it's only good, fair business that we talk with him and give him our expectations. He gets a chance to meet you, and we go from there. And if we still have these problems going forward, there's still that 30-day cancellation that we can handle.
Make a decision, not just you handle it.
I have a comment that if you want to replace him, you can't just come in with a single replacement.
It's a board decision.
You need to have multiple things for the board to review and make a decision, not just you hand to somebody that you want to work with. I think that it's just not from one to the other.
It's like, you know, it's like.
It's a board
Higher than
decision,
what we're
not
paying now.
just your decision to give us a name.
That's not just.
Furthermore, let me say,
any attorney.
I don't care what attorney it is, I don't care what state, they don't call you back right away or do it. It's like, you know, it's like pulling teeth to get an answer. And that's not just him, that's any attorneys, and that's from personal experience.
I agree
I agree with
with what Michelle says, let's have a sit down somewhere. Sit down and tell me what you expect, and then we go from there. He hasn't even met you yet,
Of actions he has taken.
and you're already making an opinion on a couple phone calls.
It's not on a couple phone calls, it's on the items that I have been able to find in our records of actions he has taken, advice he's given, and I don't feel comfortable working. Any further discussion?
Skip the next one.
Takes a vote, those in favor?
Okay, status mandated record
Those against?
retention, homeowner access.
Okay. Already
To our
stated.
record. On the issue of transparency.
Skip the next one.
Very little information.
Okay, status mandated record retention, homeowner access. To our records.
Minimum. Well, let's go through.
On the issue of transparency, there's very little information on the homeowner portal
In Article 720,
that is available to the
it
homeowner.
talks about specific records.
At a minimum, well, let's
I've
go
gone
through.
through, now that I have
What
access to
records
the portal,
we
I've
should
gone
have.
through, done as much research as.
In Article 720,
And
it
maybe
talks
I'm missing
about
something.
specific
I do
records.
not find any plan specifications.
I have gone through, now that I have access to the portal, I have gone through and done as much research as I could, and maybe I'm missing something, but I do not find
Warranty is specific.
any plan specifications, permits,
Maybe that's where it is.
or warranties.
I'm not sure I'm understanding
Yeah,
where you are.
Aren't those with individual contracts?
If you're talking warranties,
The warranty,
A warranty, maybe that's where it is, okay?
I'm not sure I'm understanding where you are,
If
but
permit is needed,
if you-
Warranty is
if
after.
you're talking warranties, I'm assuming each contractor doing a job here would have a warranty and do a permit.
I
If
spent an
permit
hour
is
to
needed.
go.
A warranty is afterwards that guarantees their work,
Right,
okay?
so,
Have you asked GRS if they have this stuff? Is it on the board? Have you asked?
I spent an hour at GRS's office trying to get all of the information on
Proposals
this
are
list.
supposed to be kept 7 years.
And basically, I got some of the minutes.
Proposals do have the most of the
A
contracts.
lot of contracts weren't available.
The minutes of all the meetings.
Proposals are
are
supposed to be kept for 7 years.
There's a lot of minutes
Very few proposals do have most of the contracts.
and very
The
seldom.
minutes of all the meetings are supposed to be kept for 7 years. And
Treasurer's report.
there's a lot
What
of
was that? I'm
minutes.
sorry, I missed that.
The minutes.
Minutes.
Discussed
And
at the meeting.
very seldom do any of the minutes have the backup or the attachments, the treasurer's reports, attachments that may have been discussed at a meeting. Those very seldom make it in.
They
It's
were,
just the
they
minutes.
were passed on to our representative at each meeting, so that representative
Without
had that
going through this list,
information.
I sent it to you.
Whether it was posted, you're finding out, no.
Right.
But the representative had it.
Minutes should be on the homeowner's portal.
So, without going through this list, I sent it to you.
There's other items, I
before,
think maybe what we need to do is.
There are things that I want to be available. The minutes should be on the homeowner's portal.
We have on the
Okay.
homeowner's portal.
And there's other items. I think maybe what we need to do is have a committee, 2 or 3 people meet with Kat, sit down and go through what we should have on the homeowner's portal, what we need to keep separate, and scour everybody's current board members, because we can't go after previous board members.
So,
Just, I know Arlene would spend a day at least to give me information. But it's-
mandated things we have to keep for
and maybe what you had was lacking.
I
So,
just think
no
we need to sit
reflection on
down.
you, it's, the data has to be kept somewhere. There's mandated things we have to keep for 7 years, other things we have to keep for 3 years. And I just think we need to sit down as a group and go through it and make a list of what we're putting on the portal to the homeowners and what we're keeping in the G vault.
I think that's just a point of, I think the material is being kept by GRS for 7 years. Whether it's being put on the portal is a different thing. But I think they have the material, they've been given the
Okay,
material.
well, when I asked you guys, you all said, go to the portal, go to the portal. It's not there, that's why I bring it up.
That would be Cat, but I should take care of that.
Yeah, Cat and a couple of us should sit down and decide what we need to have and find out what we don't have, and how we're gonna organize it, collect it, and get it posted.
That's going to be a subject of my March meeting, but I think we need to update all our policies.
Okay, the clubhouse use.
Binder,
I know we have a policy, and that's gonna be a subject of my March meeting, but I think we need to update all our policies and get them into a binder or get them put together in a folder
be in one place.
so that we have
Some
current policies. You know, we changed these policies at board meetings, and I don't know how they actually get captured,
The bigger issue.
but they need to be in one place. So when someone has a question, we have policies.
On the
Again,
swim.
they're supposed to be on the webpage, and I think the majority of them are.
The bigger issue being updating.
Well, we haven't changed it. Once we passed the policy, rarely have we changed it.
On the portal is the swim club reserve.
Because I just.
Yeah, it's not.
And it also says that it's, at the bottom, it says that it was, when it was approved, and it's on the portal,
Yes.
because I just printed it off.
It's
So
because
my
of the
reason for that
insurance.
item, opening of clubhouse for use,
Problem with it.
scratching rental right now.
We have,
Yes, it's,
Yeah. We can change it from.
it's because of the insurance and things.
Okay, I have no problem with
following
that.
our policy.
So we have a couple people right now that want to reserve the clubhouse. Are we following our policy?
We had a committee person who was responsible.
I was confused
No,
because,
reserve.
It's
No, it starts out.
confused because we,
So you had a question to me, if you could open it,
Well,
to
I was confused because,
reserve the clubhouse.
yes, well, I was confused because
and then the one I have is the social committee.
I get these two committees. I don't get them mixed up, I just get the wording mixed up. The entertainment committee
It's different than
and
the.
then the one I have is the social committee. To me, they're,
Right.
you know, that.
There was a
But
question
anyway,
about whether or not
because social activities have
clubhouse
been
should be open to.
canceled
use it.
due to the
When
COVID,
we allow people.
there was a question about whether or not
Instead of forms and stuff. But,
the clubhouse
they
should be
bring in
open
outside people.
to
When we
usage.
have a party here,
When we allow people to come in, of course, there's a whole set of forms and stuff, but
so
they
that's
bring
my
in
question.
outside people. When we have a party here,
And at this point,
it's Zoom Lakes.
Non-residents?
no.
So
No,
that's
we have
my
to have
question.
residents.
I would like to open it.
I mean, like,
And
you
at
have to
this
have a
point,
resident
Open it to
request.
non-residents?
no, you have to have a resident.
Plus,
Okay, I don't understand, that's why I'm asking.
I would
Okay.
think,
I mean, you have to have a resident
Do
to
residents have to pay
Request.
$100?
And be here.
the use and be here.
it's for
Plus,
electricity,
if we
for,
could open this, I would
you
be
know, because you have to
wandering
have
around,
that.
checking it out. I know that's what
Do
you,
residents have to pay the
Even though they're
$100 fee?
very neat
yes.
and clean.
It's for electricity, for
Clean up.
Cleaning lady doesn't.
cleanup, you know, because you have to have the group come in on Monday. And even though they're very neat
And they're
and
just
clean
deposit.
and do their best,
$100.
you know, I still find a cleaning lady does a better job than I do.
$200.
Or my husband, he's
Separate
a
check.
clean freak than I am.
Refundable.
There's also a security deposit.
When everything.
And there's a security deposit.
Huh?
The $100 is a security deposit, non-refundable. The $200 is a separate check,
Security
refundable
deposit.
when everything is.
No, it's the reserve fee to reserve it is $100, non-refundable.
Right.
Security
That's what I
deposit
meant.
is $200,
So at
which
this
is
point,
refundable with conditions
Right. That's
You have
what
an
it's-
no damage.
Okay.
You have an inspection.
That isn't what I said. No. Oh, okay. That's what I meant.
Okay, so at this point, if someone wants to reserve the clubhouse, they can.
dues,
I think we need to revisit the policy as far as charging
I agree.
for residents to use the clubhouse.
residents want to use it,
We-
I don't see why they should.
and maybe we need to
I
reduce
do see why.
the security deposit. Because everyone's paying for the cleaning.
I don't
We
discuss
need
it.
to-
I
I
don't
think we
discuss
need
it now.
If residents want to
Answer is
use
the clubhouse
it,
is
I
open.
don't see why they should be
We
paying
need to
for it.
discuss that
I
policy.
do see why we should have a
I think
deposit.
one of the problems was, and I.
But that's something, I don't want to discuss it, I don't want to discuss it now.
It is
The
that,
answer is the
uh,
courthouse is open, but
people
we need to discuss that policy.
The clubhouse a mess.
I think one of the problems was, and I don't want to discuss it now, I'll say it very fast, sorry, is that people
Security deposit.
left the clubhouse
So,
a mess.
let me.
And we had to pay because we
Right
weren't
now, you're saying.
requesting
Well,
any
that's
kind
what
of
you-
Fee is $100, which is non-refundable.
I'm not
Don't
saying-
give back the security deposit.
That's the policy, but what I'm saying is if we're.
So, let me clarify here. So right now, you're saying it's the reservation fee is $100, which is non-refundable.
I'm not saying that's the policy.
That's the policy, but what I'm saying is that we're gonna continue with the policy, is that correct?
So what are you saying then?
Not until we change it, and that's not the subject of this.
Right.
We'll discuss that at a different time.
But you're talking about opening it.
Yes.
Because we did by,
sure
we did
does.
close it as a board. We closed it to reservations
Because of COVID.
because
So
of
how are you gonna
COVID.
have your Valentine's party?
That has nothing to do with
Oh, it sure
this.
does.
Now, hold it, listen. We,
These are two
hold
different.
it. We closed the facility because of COVID. Then we reopened, we started meeting, we weren't meeting, and we started meeting again. And we opened it, but we restricted it because of the 6-foot requirement of being apart. So we reduced the amount of people that would be here. And most people wanted more people for an event. So they didn't even apply because they had more than that number of people. But we did that because of safety for COVID. Okay, if we have dropout, that's done. Okay, it's open. If they follow the rules,
What's our limit?
isn't that how we?
You said that the board voted.
You're talking about apples and oranges. One is the entertainment committee, one is the social committee. That reserves. We closed it for reservations because we didn't want outsiders coming in
They're not inviting the homeowners, they're inviting
to the
their,
clubhouse.
their.
Because when somebody, say, it's a
Why we closed it.
birthday, that somebody wants, they're not inviting the homeowners, they're inviting their company to come in. And this is why we closed it, because we didn't want outsiders coming in here
During COVID.
during COVID. But, so we made,
We closed.
decided as a board, so we have to, if we want to open it to that again, we have to have a motion to open it again for reservations.
We closed the whole clubhouse, period, due to COVID. That included reservations and everything. We didn't have meetings, we didn't do anything because of the high infection rate and everything. But now we've opened the pool, we've opened the building, you can come in and get the books and everything. There was no separate motion for reservations.
Yes, there was.
No, there wasn't.
Okay, let's clarify it.
All right.
Does somebody have a motion to open the clubhouse for reservations per the policy?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, next
I'll
item
second it.
is the
Those in
master
favor?
HOA and homeowners maintenance.
That has here.
Well, I should put that in. Master HOA maintenance.
Okay, next item is
So wait a
the
minute.
master HOA and homeowners
You
maintenance.
elaborate that.
Hedges.
Right now, it's terrible.
Well, I shouldn't put that in.
Starting at
The
Ben's
master
house,
HOA maintenance hedges
along
along the
7
Lucerene
lanes,
Boulevard.
5. It's just all
Can you elaborate that, Ed? Because right now it looks terrible. From starting at Betty's house where it's 5 feet high, it goes up to 7, 8, 6, 5. You know, it's just all over the place. It looks like it's not being maintained at all. Whose responsibility is it to maintain
It's a
it?
shared maintenance between our homeowners association and the master association.
Okay.
One story. I didn't bring the documentation with me, but there was Gene was involved with this. There was a discussion back maybe 10 years about doing something about the hedges between the master and the association. They had a meeting with the homeowners in the master, I'm represented with this group. And there were options given to remove the hedges and put new in, maintain as current, or replace it with a fence similar to the fence that's on this side. The master voted that they would pay half if a fence was put in, as long as the fence was put on the homeowner's side of the property. The hedge is shared between masters and homeowners. The property zigzags in between. Not the property line, but the properties zigzag in between the ownership. So we both have ownership rights. And then there was agreement between the two. At one time, the master did the master do both, all three sides at one time? No. No. The master did the front and the HOA took care of the rest. And then the master said, because the top looks terrible, the master said, we will take responsibility to do the face. Well, first of all, that agreement was as is. The homeowners and they couldn't get to agreement, and one of the things was leave as is. That's what we had, as is. So we never came to a new agreement to change it. Now, a presentation was made to the masters last year about coming, we got a couple bids to make it a solid thing. All the master asked for was, we need a maintenance agreement between the two of us. So when an issue comes up like this, we already have an agreement. Who's going to be responsible for what? That never happened.
We need to revisit it, because
So if you could take that.
figure out who's doing what. Because,
Well, the master's doing the front and the top, and the HOA is
then
doing
the
the
master needs
back.
to clean up their work on the
Sir,
top.
one thing, when you're gonna take care of that,
I could
So if you could
take care of that.
take that to the board.
I will take care of that.
I think it was.
And if there's something we have to do differently, we will.
Let me say one thing, when you're gonna take care of that, you have to do that. We had this discussion not too long ago. I think it was, part of last, the September, I don't know, September or April. It was April, no, I know what it was. I think it was April or May, wasn't it, Arlene? You remember? When Frank said, because he gave one of the proposals, he said, there's a time when you wanna cut that down, because if you cut that down, the whole thing is gonna die and go out if it's not the right time of the year. So when you're talking about evening that out, we need to make sure it's the right time of the year to do that, otherwise that hedge is gonna go.
I'm gonna embarrass myself.
That's worse than it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna call a recess for 1 minute. Or I'm gonna embarrass myself.
The AED is beeping in there, so don't think we're watching it.
I'll be right back.
I don't know if I wanna get up, I'm not gonna
I just asked Katie to give it to me.
My best friend,
I
really want to get either a committee together or a group or have a workshop someday. And decide what we're going to do with the CCRs that we started, try and finalize those. Go through our policies. Maybe the CCRs are almost done, but
They were done and reviewed by the lawyers. It's just ready to go out.
go through our policies. This little
Yeah,
cleanup,
we didn't do anything with them. We were held them. We were trying to set up, we were gonna set up a committee prior to COVID, because you're gonna have there's no other way, you'll never get it.
well, can't you distribute it?
You can,
60-day notice?
it's gone. If you don't know the door, it's gone.
But hold on, no. We never really revisited it and went over the final copy. Because we had discussions about it prior to COVID, whether it was gonna go as a packet or individual items to go through. And that was never agreed upon yet.
Right, we never got finished.
We never got finished to it.
That's different, But there's little things in our policies that need cleaned up too. The board made an action about garbage cans being next to houses. That's different from what's in all my targets.
Right. That was because, about the.
Garbage picked up on
There's little things.
Tuesday and Friday, but we got it reversed in the new home.
I have them, here, I have them, these are all the changes.
Yeah, okay. We got all those there's little things all over the place we gotta clean up.
Yeah.
And we gotta decide what we're gonna do about, even though it's not on this agenda, I didn't put it on Arlene's.
We have it the way we.
But what we're gonna do about the people who are renting out
Where there's 3 construction workers.
to non-residents or non-relatives, how is that whole policy, do we have it the way we want it?
Are those allowed?
Because we got some houses where there's 3 construction workers.
We have the issues for rent.
Other places where they want to convert their patio into an
Under
apartment.
55, they want to rent
You
a
know,
house.
are those allowed or are they not allowed? What are the restrictions?
Stick to the line.
We have the
Restrictions
issue,
for renters.
we have the issue about people under 55 that want to rent a house and be 55 in 2 months.
That's what we get.
We got to stick to the line of the law that we have established.
We don't know. So we
We find it, yeah.
We gotta put some.
As soon as you start easing up a little bit, that's where we get in trouble.
The problem with renters is that a lot of them don't notify us that they're renting. We don't know.
It's gonna be.
Until a neighbor
We
says
find
something.
it, yeah.
We gotta put some teeth in it.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
We find out just by accident.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, somebody
But
called
there's
me.
gonna be consequences, I mean, and that's a whole nother issue. If we're gonna start finding people or doing that, I don't wanna go down
How do you
there.
get
At least so we can write them a strong letter. He's saying is that you can't.
Well, don't renters have to fill out the same forms?
Yes.
And this is how.
By
How do you
rule,
get
if
them
they
to do it?
report
If you
it.
know about it.
That's right, if you don't report it. What he's saying is, if we find out about them,
Like, well,
we should do something about it.
Right, but if we don't know, then what are we gonna do?
And this is how we came upon 3
I've
things.
seen some of Larry's comments on those issues. It's kind of like, well,
get these things.
you really don't have enough teeth, is basically what he's saying.
And the
In
CCRs.
that I want CCRs, we do
Us to
something
think
about it,
about,
so.
maybe put some things on the agenda.
Let's get this thing, let's get these things done so it's.
Workshop. You had
That's something that I want us to think about, and maybe put some things on the agenda.
Let's bring all our
Or
issues.
to set up a
The
workshop.
workshop, we
Set up a
had
workshop.
workshops in the past,
Okay.
almost every 7 months.
So let's bring all our issues together, and then next month we'll schedule a workshop, once we know all the issues.
Before regular.
Call any one of us.
No, Mike,
Can I say something?
no.
No?
I don't wanna go back and forth.
Next month, or call any one of us before the next meeting. Or next month, in front of the microphone.
Well, I think,
I don't wanna go back and forth with this.
Okay, so we're up to
I think I know what he's going to say. This gentleman is waiting for a reply from the one that wants to build
Oh,
My
Well, do you want to discuss that?
Pardon me?
yes, I think we should.
Because,
Yeah, because, I gave it to you to put on the agenda.
yeah, no.
You know,
I would suggest
My opinion, in being a code official in the past,
stating it's not,
dealing with some of these issues,
I don't think,
we can only do what we can do, what we have the teeth for. Okay?
however,
I would suggest
advise them that they may
stating
be
it's
required
not
to
our,
build permits to do that.
I don't think it's our purview
And
to tell
that
somebody what they can do in their house.
they need to
However,
follow the
we can
current
advise
rules.
them
If someone
that
other than
they may
their
be
family
required to get building permits to do that.
specific rules.
They have to-
And that they need to follow the current rules if someone other than their family is going to live in that room.
the county has rules,
I think
specific
we should
rules
just
on that.
advise them not to.
And they don't go to the county, but the county, because they will be charged a tax to do something like that. And people don't do that.
I think we should just advise them not to give approval or deny.
We already got an answer. In other words, they have to.
I don't think it's our place.
This, or you can go that.
That's my suggestion.
I suggest we ask them.
Well, we did it.
Oh,
We did.
oh,
Yeah.
We already got an answer.
Well, you also talk
Yeah,
about
we gotta, you can do this, or you can do
Well,
that.
well,
I mean,
that kind of issue.
but he said if we say he's got to get a permit.
And just tell
Now,
them
if
it's not,
the town, if
Well,
the
they also talk
county.
about arbitration, so that's the committee decision, we're going to get into that kind of issue.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's not, as this board, make a
Yeah.
decision.
I'll just tell them it's not our place to tell you yes or no, but
It's not
be
something
aware
else, right.
you need to comply with the current rules, depending on who you put in there, and you may need to get.
They can't be rented.
I don't know what he's planning, if they're gonna rent that place out?
He said no, right?
That's an.
Yeah, what you're saying, what you do
You're
later.
not
I
gonna
know.
rent, it can't be rented. I mean, one homeowner per
The
unit,
county
it
needs
can't
to
be
know about
rented
that, and the
out.
county will do something about that.
I mean, that's in our bylaws.
We,
I know, but what about people who
They
are
rent,
renting out
they rent rooms out all the
Discussed
time.
it.
Well,
That's right.
again, the county needs to know about that, and the county will do something about that. We don't have the authority to do anything about it.
Right, but I
There's
mean,
been
how
discussed
do
in
we even
the
know
past.
that? I mean, you don't,
Before you were on the board.
Well, it's been asked of us in the past, and we said the county has to be notified of that issue, and the county will take care of it.
No, hold on. Ed, before you were on the board, and before you were in this community, we had an issue with a homeowner that renting out
She went
rooms,
to the county,
okay?
and the county said, no, that they
Karen
can't do anything
was our property
unless they
manager
have
at the
proof
time with
from anybody
GRS,
that was living
okay?
there or renting there.
And she went to the county,
So that
and
they
the
can
county
do something.
said
And
no,
of course,
that
nobody
they can't do
spoke up to say
anything
that.
unless
So the
they had
county
proof
could
from
do
anybody that was living there
And we
or
went through
renting
this
there
numerous
currently,
times.
so that they could do
And
something.
for
And of
years.
course, nobody's speaking up to say that. So the county could do
Right.
nothing.
those rules have.
And we went through this numerous times and for years.
Now, the thing is, with the new B&B, those rules have changed because they're taxing that stuff now. And the county wants to be involved because they're losing revenue.
Whatever.
So they do get involved now, and then if they find out about it, they want to collect revenue from renters, day renters, week renters, whatever. So they are involved now because of the new,
Yeah, but somebody
you
comes
can rent your
knocking on
house
the
out
door, and they
without
knock on the
question.
door and they
And you
say,
have to have a
oh,
permit now
I'm
with
his
the county
brother,
to
I'm
do
his
that.
nephew,
So
I'm his
there's a lot of
whatever,
issues.
and you can't do anything. That's the
prove it. You
problem.
gotta prove
Yeah, but somebody comes knock on your door, and they knock on the door and they say, oh, I'm his brother, I'm his nephew, I'm his whatever, and you can't do anything. That's the problem that Karen ran into, we even reporting it to the county.
Say, I'm ready.
How long ago
The
was
guy's gonna
that?
throw him out, he's not gonna have a
They
business.
have changed. It
but you
has
still
changed.
can't, you still gotta prove that they're renting.
That's right.
That's right.
And that's what's so hard.
That's right, nobody's gonna step up and say, I'm renting a room there, the guy's gonna throw him out, and he's not gonna have a place to stay.
middle,
Okay.
So
against,
It's sort of like
Do I need to
renting a
make a
business
motion?
in your place.
we approve our action.
it's been brought to us where they
I make a motion that we be
in favor.
non-committal for or against the renovations of that patio. that has been brought to us by the ARC.
I'll second
All right,
that.
do we have a current
Those in
agreement?
favor?
This was going to find that. It's for 2020.
Opposed?
It's just a continue, we just had an agreement and it continues. It's in
All right,
the
we have
agreement.
a current agreement since it's going, where did we find that?
What we did.
I have a copy.
2022?
It's just a continue, we just had an agreement and it continued. It's in the agreement.
Do I need to get an approval to sign on if we don't have a firm?
What we did is, usually the person, you would have to get into agreement because you're new representative. You're the representative. So I just went over the sisters.
Have we ever used?
So I don't need any action.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We did it twice, and it was because of not cars.
I'll give you a copy.
Have we ever used?
Yes, hold on, we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We did it twice, and it was because of not cars on the street, it was cars in this adjacent parking lot.
I have sisters again.
But was that sisters? Wasn't that the one who was
No, it was sisters. Yeah, it was, because we had sisters, then there was another one, then we had sisters again. But I used the time that two were told they were sisters.
But when I was on the board before, we told two
coming in and you want to rent this room?
cars. They're on the street at
The
11
website, I have another question.
No,
Yes.
because
What was our standard we're using for the flag at half-mast?
The governor has the right to.
Well,
It's a website, we buy the flags, they notify by email.
You won't get it
They have every state covered.
But the other day, it wasn't put down. The governor has the right
Well,
to,
Mike asked me about that, and I didn't get a notice, so.
you won't get it from from the Florida. You get it from the federal government.
I gave you the, I
Right,
gave you,
yeah,
have
I'm
you
signed
joined
up,
that?
I'm signed up on that.
I don't know why you didn't get it.
The Florida governor will notice that.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, Mike thought he heard something, and he asked me about it, and I didn't get notice, I didn't hear anything about it, so I didn't.
Well, you should check that because, you know,
Yeah.
once you
I will-
sign up, you should
I
get the
will check
notice.
that. That's on me.
Also, good to be this, so we know it's.
Yes.
I'll wait here.
I'm done.
It sounds more
I
like.
can't read it.
This that you have, it needs to be an agenda, so we know it's an agenda. What this says, just says February general meeting. It sounds more like a report or
Should I
a
put the word agenda?
Yeah.
agenda
Yeah.
and the things that are to be decided with the board.
Okay.
I'm adamant about filling the board.
Are we going to do anything about the secretary?
Can't continue.
We got,
I'm adamant about filling the board, so if we're not gonna fill the board, I'll just continue to treasurer reports and Kathy continue to secretary.
Look, we had.
I don't think she has.
She doesn't have to, she doesn't have to, but the minutes are gonna be on this board.
I guess there's something, because you guys, you stick in the.
But we had a representative from GRS in the past who was,
They don't have to.
no, they don't have to, but
I
we
gotta
did
do
have
something,
somebody who
you
did
guys-
it everything.
You
just
stick in
did
the
it on
most, wanna stay with 7 people.
Want to volunteer for treasurer?
The bylaws say 9.
Says
Up to 9.
Yeah.
Says 5, 7, or 9.
Good? Okay. We're gonna volunteer for treasurer, for
Know if
secretary?
anybody, let me know.
Are you after the committee?
Don't ask me to hold on.
Oh, okay.
I thought somebody stepped out and wanted to volunteer.
Okay, well, if you know of anybody, let me know.
I thought you decided.
You still have to be elected by the board.
So how long do we have to wait for you guys to vote on it? A year? Till January, till you vote on it?
Back and forth
Vote on it every month.
I don't know, we never,
Well, you guys are gonna change your mind in a month as opposed to tonight?
We don't know.
We don't have back and forth here.
Sally, is Jennifer, what?
Make a motion, adjourn the meeting at 28.
I'll second.
Second. Approve. All to adjourn?
Come here.